Monza, September 10th, 1961, 1547. A man stood on the podium, Phil Hill, cup in hand, world champion. The crowd was screaming, Italian flag waving, champagne exploding. Phil Hill wasn't smiling. Journalists shouted, "Smile, you're champion." He didn't smile, because 2 hours earlier on the same track, his teammate had gone airborne. Wolfgang von Trips, inside his Ferrari, lifted off, hit the spectator stands. 14 people died there. Von Trips too. Now Hill was on the podium. Champion. Winner. But he didn't feel like a winner. Next to the podium was an empty chair, reserved for Ferrari. It was tradition. The team owner would come, congratulate the winner, photos would be taken. The chair was empty. Enzo Ferrari was in Maranello, in his factory. Door locked, lights off. 15 people had died. Ferrari had won, but no one was celebrating. This is the story of a victory where nobody was happy. 3 months earlier, the season had started well. 2 Ferrari drivers, Phil Hill, Wolfgang von Trips, both fast, both hungry. They'd known each other for years, not friends exactly, but not enemies either. Just 2 men who wanted the same thing, the championship. Early in the season, they were careful with each other, professional. But as wins accumulated, something changed. In Germany, von Trips won. Hill was second. In the paddock afterward, Hill congratulated him. Von Trips nodded, said nothing. In England, Hill won. Von Trips was second. Same scene. Reversed, no words. By August, they weren't speaking much, just racing. Ferrari watched, said nothing. A mechanic remembered. You could feel it. Not hatred, just distance. They both knew only one could win, and they both wanted it. Race morning, Ferrari hadn't gone to Monza. First time ever. I'll learn the result from here, he'd said. His secretary remembers. That morning was different. He didn't say it, but it was like he knew. The factory was empty. Everyone had gone to Monza, except Ferrari. He sat in his office, door closed, no lights. He'd been here before. This feeling, this knowing. 1957, his son Dino, sick, dying. Ferrari had sat in this same office, same darkness, waiting for a phone call. It came. Dino was gone. Now, 1961, 4 years later, same office, same darkness, waiting again. At Monza, the atmosphere was electric. 2 Ferrari drivers, both could win the championship. Italy was watching. In the morning, von Trips walked the track, alone, looking at the corners, studying. Hill did the same, later. They didn't walk together. Before the race, they were in the garage, side by side, getting ready. Von Trips looked over. Good luck? Hill looked back. You too. Last words they'd exchange. Second lap, parabolica, von Trips in front, Hill behind. Jim Clark approaching from another team. Clark tried to pass. Tight space, high speed. His wheel touched von Trips' car. Light contact. At 240 kilometers per hour, there's no such thing as light contact. Von Trips' Ferrari lifted. Front wheels off the ground. The car became a plane. It flew. Over the barrier. Into the crowd. People saw it coming. Some ran. Some froze. Some didn't see. The car hit. Metal on flesh. Impact. Bodies. Silence for 1 second. Then screaming. Hill saw it in his mirror. Red car. Airborne. Gone. He kept driving. What else could he do? The race didn't stop immediately. It should have. But it didn't. 2 more laps. Then the red flag. Hill pulled into the pits. Got out. Looked around. Wolfgang? No one answered. Where's Wolfgang? A mechanic shook his head. Hill sat down. Put his head in his hands. Stayed there for 10 minutes. Someone said, Race will restart. You need to be ready. Hill looked up. What? Race continues. Rules. People died. I know, but rules are rules. Hill stood up. got back in the car. When the race restarted, he drove. On autopilot, not thinking, just driving. He won, crossed the line, first place. He was world champion. He felt nothing. In Maranello, the phone rang. The secretary listened. Her face changed. She knocked on Ferrari's door. Enzo, Monza calling. Result? Phil won. He's champion. Silence. Enzo? I heard. But there was an accident. Von Trips? I know. How do you? I know. She waited. Nothing more came. Spectators, too. Many dead. How many? Her voice broke. 14. And Wolfgang, 15 total. The line went quiet. Then, close the door. She closed it. Inside, Ferrari sat. Didn't move. He'd known. Not the details, but he'd known something would happen. Racing always took. He'd learned that. Over and over. It took his drivers. It took his son. It took and took. And now 15 more. For what? A trophy? An hour later, the phone rang again. Secretary picked up. Yes? This is Phil. I need to speak with Enzo. He's not available. Please, I just won. I need to speak with him. She knocked. Enzo, Phil wants to talk. No answer. She knocked again. Enzo, tell him later. She went back to the phone. He says later. Please, I'm sorry. She hung up. At Monza, the podium ceremony happened. Because it had to. Rules. Phil Hill stood there. The Italian anthem played. He didn't sing. The cup was handed to him. Heavy. Gold. His name would be engraved on it. Photographers shouted, "Hold it up! Smile!" He held it up. Didn't smile. Champagne was brought. Tradition. The winner sprays it. Celebration. Hill held the bottle. Looked at it. Put it down. Spray it, someone yelled. He shook his head. The ceremony ended. He walked away immediately. In the paddock, journalists swarmed. Phil, how does it feel? He kept walking. You're world champion. He stopped, turned, looked at them. My teammate is dead. 14 people are dead. How should I feel? They had no answer. He left. That night in his hotel room, Hill called again. This time, Ferrari answered. Enzo. Yes, I won. I heard? Long silence. I don't know what to say, Hill continued. We were competing, but he didn't deserve. No one deserves it. I keep thinking, if that contact happened 1 second later, or earlier, maybe I'd be the one, but you're not. I know, but why? Why me and not him? Ferrari's voice was flat. There's no why. It happened. He's gone. You're here. But how do I accept this? This championship? I don't know. Enzo, please, tell me something. Anything. Silence. Long. Then, 15 people died today, and we won a championship. I don't know how to hold both of those things. I don't think anyone does. So what do? We live with it. The line went dead. Hill sat there. The cup was on the table. He stared at it. World champion. Everything he'd wanted. And he'd never felt worse in his life. Next morning, Ferrari came to the factory early. Workers arrived, saw his car, exchanged looks. What now? Celebration or mourning? No one knew. By afternoon, everyone was there. Waiting. Ferrari emerged from his office, called a meeting. They gathered, silent. Ferrari stood, looked at them. Long time. Yesterday we won a championship. Pause. Yesterday we lost a driver, and 14 people who came to watch died. Longer pause. Some of you want to celebrate. I understand. We worked hard. We won. He looked around the room. But I can't celebrate. And there will be no celebration. Someone in the back. But Enzo, this is a historic. Historic. Ferrari cut him off. Yes, history written in blood. The room went silent. Wolfgang von Trips was 33 years old. He had a mother, a father, friends, a life. Now he has a grave. Ferrari's voice didn't rise, stayed flat. 14 people woke up yesterday morning, went to watch a race. For fun. They didn't come home. He paused, and we won a trophy. No one spoke. So no celebration, no party, no ceremony. Tomorrow morning we return to work. As usual. The championship will not be mentioned. Is that clear? Heads nodded. Wolfgang's family will be taken care of. The victims' families will be contacted. The factory will help however we can. He looked down. That's all. He went back to his office. The workers dispersed, quietly. One of them said later, "It was the strangest championship celebration I've ever seen, because there was none." 3 days later, a box arrived, delivered to the factory. Official seal, from the Racing Federation. The championship trophy. A young engineer signed for it, carried it inside, found a senior mechanic. The cup arrived. Where should I put it? The mechanic looked at the box. I'll ask Enzo. He knocked on Ferrari's door. Yes? The championship cup is here. And? Where should we put it? Silence. Enzo? Somewhere. But it's the championship. Don't you want to put it somewhere? I don't care where. The mechanic left, held the box, looked at it. Another worker asked, "What did he say?" Put it somewhere. They looked at each other. The trophy room? He said he doesn't care. They ended up putting it in a storage closet, on a shelf, between old parts and paperwork. The box wasn't even opened. It stayed there. Dust accumulated. Years later, someone found it. Should we display this? Ferrari. No. It went back in the closet. Phil Hill tried to process what happened. Journalists kept calling. Interview? He declined most, but one insisted. Phil, you're world champion. People want to hear from you. He agreed. One interview. The journalist came, set up, started recording. So Phil, how does it feel to be world champion? Hill looked at him. Do you really want to know? Of course. It feels wrong. The journalist shifted. What do you mean? I mean, Wolfgang should be sitting here. Or maybe both of us, but not just me. But you won fairly. Did I? Hill interrupted. Wolfgang died. I didn't. That's not winning. That's surviving. But you were faster. Maybe. We'll never know. The race ended before we could finish it properly. Silence. Look, Hill continued. I'm grateful to be alive. I am. But I can't celebrate this. Every time I look at that trophy, I see Wolfgang's car flying. I hear the screams. I see the bodies. What will you do with the trophy? I don't know. Hide it, probably. But it's the championship. It's a piece of metal, Hill said. Wolfgang was a person. 14 spectators were people. They're gone. The medal remains. You tell me what's more important. The journalist didn't publish most of that interview. Too dark, his editor said. Champions should be happy. That year, there was supposed to be an end-of-season gala. Every year, the Racing Federation held one. Formal dinner, awards, speeches. The invitation came. Ferrari's office. His secretary opened it. Enzo, the gala invitation. Decline. But you're expected to decline. They'll ask why. Tell them I'm busy. Doing what? Ferrari looked up, remembering 15 people. The secretary sent the decline. The Federation called. Ferrari must attend. He won. He can't. Why? He's mourning. But it's been weeks. He's still mourning. Ferrari didn't go. Phil Hill went, because he had to, as champion. He stood on stage, received the trophy, gave a short speech. Thank you. This was a difficult season. We lost someone important, Wolfgang von Trips and 14 spectators. I dedicate this championship to them. Applause. Awkward. Didn't know if they should applaud. Hill left immediately after. Later he said, worst night of my life. smiling and shaking hands while pretending everything was fine. It wasn't fine. Nothing was fine. Months passed. 1962 season began. Ferrari returned to racing. Because what else could he do? But something had changed. He didn't attend races anymore. Stayed in Maranello. Watched on TV. Or didn't watch. A mechanic noticed. After 1961, Enzo stopped coming to races. He'd get the results by phone. Said he couldn't watch anymore. Why? He never explained. But those who knew him understood. Every race could be Monza. Every race could take 15 more. And he couldn't watch it happen again. Von Trips's grave was in Germany. Ferrari never visited. Someone asked him why. What would I say? You could pay respects. Respect doesn't bring him back. But I pay respect by remembering. Every day. I don't need a grave for that. Phil Hill raced 2 more seasons. 1962, 1963. Won some races, not the championship. In 1964, he retired. 37 years old. Asked why so young, he said, I stopped loving it. Why? Because every time I got in the car, I thought about Wolfgang. Every corner, every lap. Will this be the one? Will I fly too? You were safe. No one's safe, Hill said. We pretend we are, but we're not. Wolfgang wasn't. The spectators weren't. No one is. So you quit? I survived. That's enough. The trophy stayed in his closet for decades. When he died in 2008, his family found it. Dusty. Neglected. They asked him years before, what should we do with this? Whatever you want. It's not mine anyway. But you want it. Did I? He'd said. Or did 15 people lose their lives and I just happened to be alive at the end? In the 1980s, Ferrari gave a rare interview. The journalist asked about 1961. You never celebrated that championship. Why? Ferrari looked away, quiet for a long time. Because there was nothing to celebrate. But you won. Winning isn't always victory. What does that mean? It means sometimes you win and you lose more than you gain. The 15 people? Yes. Do you blame yourself? Ferrari's jaw tightened. Every day. But it was an accident. It was my car, my race, my team, my responsibility. That's not fair. Fair? Ferrari looked at him. 15 people are dead. I'm alive. I'm successful. Where's the fairness? The journalist had no response. Ferrari continued. That championship sits in a closet somewhere. Hasn't been touched in 20 years. You know why? Because every time I see it, I see blood. Wolfgang's. The spectators. Mine. Yours? Guilt is blood too. Just slower. 1 race, 15 dead. 1 championship, 2 men who won. Neither celebrated. The trophy sat in a closet. Forgotten. Newspapers called it the cursed championship. Others called it the dark victory. Ferrari called it nothing. Didn't speak of it. Phil Hill called it the worst moment of my career. Von Trips' family never spoke publicly about it. The 14 families received compensation, money. Money doesn't replace people. Everyone knew that. But what else could be offered? There's a question that sits at the center of this story. No one asked it directly, but everyone felt it. If nobody's happy, is it still a victory? Phil Hill won, but felt like he lost. Ferrari won, but refused to acknowledge it. The trophy existed, but no one looked at it. Victory without joy. Winning without satisfaction. A championship no one wanted to remember. So was it victory? Or just survival with a title attached? The answer depends on what you think victory means. Is it the trophy? The title? The record books? Or is it how you feel when it's over? Hill didn't feel victorious. Ferrari didn't feel successful. Von Trips felt nothing. He was dead. 14 spectators felt nothing. They were dead too. So where was the victory? Maybe there wasn't one. Maybe 1961 was just a loss. For everyone. Some losses are dressed up as wins, but the costume doesn't change what's underneath. Phil Hill knew this. Enzo Ferrari knew this. Maybe you know it too.